This is workplace theater. It is easily recognized because almost half of workers engage in it to some degree. Maybe you have some acting experience as well. Have a look at the global data for this performative work, the term coined to describe looking like you are working but not actually being busy. The scale of this absurdity is mind-boggling. According to research from Slack, India and Japan seem to be leading actors, but even the bottom performers like South Korea and the US are showing workers pretending almost a third of their time. In another survey of US workers from the software company Vizier, 43% of employees said they spent more than 10 hours a week engaging in productivity theater. Now, I know that if you are a boss, especially a big boss, you might be thinking at this point, well, it's remote workers, right? Wrong. It's the workers crowded in the office feeling the most pressured to put on a show for colleagues and management. The percentage of remote workers pretending to work is 35% compared to 49% in the office. Now, in our last video, we spoke about bullshit jobs that seem to constitute around 20 to 50% of the global job market. These numbers seem to strongly correlate with those of performative work. It's pretty safe to assume that jobs with much less meaning and satisfaction go hand in hand with more pretense. This, after all, does make sense. If you are working in a less prone to be bullshit job like education or health, it is less probable you have free time to pretend anything. If you are working in an international giant as a product manager, I'm pretty sure you have more time on your hands to pretend to work. And this brings us to present times that send a clear warning signal for the existence of both phenomena. If you're thinking about AI, you're right. It's safe to assume that these kinds of jobs should be more exposed to AI in the coming decade. And when we say exposed, it's simply the polite way to describe someone's job getting replaced by AI. You are most likely already aware of the many estimates about job exposure to AI, ranging from market change affecting 23% of jobs in the next 5 years predicted by the World Economic Forum, to McKinsey estimating that 50% of global work activities could be automated between 2030 and 2060. Here is one such detailed prediction from professional service firm Accenture released last year. Notice the correlation? Once again, management, sales, finance and computer sciences are mostly exposed to AGI, the same professions that are more prone by research to be meaningless. But that was last year. Since then, more data was gathered and thoughtful analysis was made and came to similar conclusion. AI is coming for your job. A UK research paper from last month sheds more light on what to expect. The Institute for Public Policy Research has examined 22,000 tasks in the UK economy, covering every type of job. Its analysis sums up two waves of AI. The first is the here and now wave, where 11% of tasks are exposed to existing AGI. The second wave is when companies integrate AI more deeply and it affects 59% of the tasks in the economy. Under the worst-case scenario, or what the authors call a job apocalypse, 8 million UK jobs might disappear. That's almost a quarter of all jobs in the UK. To put this in context, the last time such unemployment numbers were seen was back in the 1930s. And we all remember what followed. World War II, Holocaust, millions of dead. Now watch the charts describing the professions mostly exposed to those two waves. Unsurprisingly familiar are those assistant, customer service and admin roles that are mostly exposed in the first wave. But look what happens in the second wave, in the job apocalypse. We have marked the jobs with higher than 50% exposure, and they almost perfectly correlate to pointless jobs from our last video. But there are more worrying conclusions. Women are more likely to be in such jobs, which means they will be among the most affected. This means AI can practically delete decades of progress made in women's rights advancement. Young people are also at high risk, as firms hire fewer people for entry-level jobs and introduce AI technologies instead. So there you have it. the jobs mostly at risk, the price to be paid, and the social ripples effects starting to unfold. It's almost like workplace theater and bullshit jobs sound like the better option. So, is it 20 to 50% unemployment that is waiting for us down the line? Time will tell, but in the meanwhile, you tell us what you think will happen below in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and keep on the act while you still can.